They heralded the plan as historic for the 2S LGBT community. Okay. In Canada now, their Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, this is true, just $100 million. This is a guy, by the way, who seized bank accounts, right, assets for truckers, who simply wanted to protest the lockdowns, which, by the way, we now know, according to the CDC, there should be no different guidance for vaccinated or unvaccinated. The truckers back then in Canada were saying, hey, you know what? We can't be treated like second-class citizens. We need to be allowed to work. Now, isn't it interesting that Trudeau is still flying in the face of the new science in a lot of ways, if you actually look at their policies. It's not on full lockdown, but there are different policies for vaccinated, unvaccinated. I don't know what their new policy is as far as going in or leaving Canada, if they still have the quarantine.
I think it's still that way.
But it's certainly more strict than the United States and more strict than the CDC would actually recommend. So who's the science denier now? I don't understand the rule book. But I do know that he has another science pet project. That's $100 million as an action plan to support the 2S LGBTQI+. This is a real thing. I want you to hear it straight from the overly proud of himself Prime Minister of Canada's mouth. Okay, wrong clip, sorry. Yeah. We have the right one. Here he is, the 2S LGBTQI plus $100 million. And by the way, you need to understand that for Canada, that's the equivalent to like 50 trillion here in the United States, right? They do not have a lot of money.
Yes, no.
Here he is.
Our government has been committed to protecting the rights of two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, and additional sexuality and gender diverse people. That's why I'm so excited today to announce a historic first, the launch of Canada's first ever 2S LGBTQI plus action plan.
Look at the flag! Pelosi should be wearing that like a scarf. And by the way, in case you needed any more proof that the left, that the progressive leftism is a religion, they've now included two-spirit. Because we've gotten so far away from the science, it's a spirit thing. No. We're no longer at biological sex. We're no longer even at social constructs of gender. It's a spiritual issue, two-spirit. I still don't fully know what it means.
I don't either.
I understand it to be a queer who's part Native American. No, that's not even a joke. That's my general understanding.
Is it really?
I don't know.
Well, I haven't the foggiest.
He's included two-spirit, but he's put it at the end most of the time. Now they've jumped the line.
Yeah, he's given them priority. So here's Trudeau, a quote. He said, 75% of the funding will go toward community organizations focused on diversity and inclusion because that's where the real work of support comes from. I don't even know what that means. I know the acronym 2SLGBT stands for two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, and additional sexual.
I'm just glad you could explain it, because for a minute I thought it was something silly.
Yes, for a moment I was worried. It does remind me that we need to, guys, the interns pick up toilet paper for our new two-spirit bathroom.
One ply?
Two-spirit ply.
Okay.
Now, the CBC, they heralded the plan as historic for the 2S LGBT community. Okay. Here's the thing.
Historic.
And by the way, great work from Ginger Snap, because I sent this to him and I said, hey, did you guys notice anything in this article? And right away, Ginger Snap's like, yeah, they used the wrong acronym like 5 times in a row. I said, yeah, can we just find a couple of other articles that likely do the same thing? And he's like, it took me 10 minutes. I found like 50. Which ones do you want?
Yeah, there's too many.
So the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, used 2SLGBT. Okay. But Trudeau clearly announced the plan was for the 2SLGBTQI plus community. CBC forgot the QI plus. That's the most important part. Luckily, they corrected their error in the very next paragraph and explained, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau unveiled a strategy dubbed Canada's first federal 2SLGBTQI plus action plan. Okay, so they used the right one. But then 5 paragraphs later, they screwed up again and used the acronym 2SLGBT. They forgot 3 of the letters / call signs.
QI plus.
QI plus.
And plus is just like whatever the hell else you think of.
So overall, the article switches back and forth 4 times in the announcement.
But you've got to get it right.
Exactly.
It just shows that no one knows anymore.
Right. And this it's like they said, hey, we need to announce this with a release. Can we do it in a way that very pointedly undergirds Jordan Peterson's argument?
Mm-hmm. How quickly do you think the LG&B will be removed from this? Because they're like, we need to create an organization.
Well, I want to get to that in a second because I have my concerns.
Do you?
Well, there's been a few instances.
Yes.
Yeah.
There have been.
Yeah.
But the issue here is Bill C-16 was compelled. It's hate speech if you don't use the right gender pronouns. Well, the CBC should be tried. They're not including the full acronym. How can you be forced to comply? This is the issue. It's entirely made up.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.